All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Love and Light TV. And as you all know, I have promised you that I'm going to be doing some new content and I'm going to be adding other shows to this channel. So one of the first shows that I'm adding is this show called Mike Heard with the Word, where I will be talking about different hot topics. I will be talking about different things that's going on in my life and you all's lives in the world, different interviews that I think that you all will like. But I wanted to kick this new show off in a special type of way. And I just felt like it was only befitting to have somebody who I have known and have loved for a long time to be with me today. So I'm super excited to welcome. And when I say ex-husband, I'll explain it. I am so happy to welcome my ex-husband, Mr. Aaron Leigh Heard. Oh no. Okay, so the last time when we tried this, it didn't go so well.
Yes.
So
For you.
At all.
For you.
At all.
For you.
You're right. 100%. It didn't go well for me at all. I was in a very, very different place then. I was very much a different person. Mm-hmm. And I'm not proud of that moment. That moment has stuck with me. It has haunted me in some ways. But it was a learning lesson, right? I think I know my intentions were good, but it probably wasn't the right time. And
someone probably told you that.
What you did when and shout out to Juan and G, yes, who reached out to us and asked us about possibly filming with them, and I was so in a rush to heal, right?
Yes. Can we just talk about the before that part?
Right. So
when they asked, I guess they asked you first.
Right.
And when they reached out to me, I was like, well, I don't think we should do that.
You did say that. You was like, I don't think this is a good idea.
And when they asked me about it, I was like, well, let me talk to them. And they said, you had already agreed to it.
Right.
And I was like, did he? We're not in a good place. But I was like, fine, if he wants to do it, I guess I'm okay with it. And then I called you.
Right, I remember that.
You said you were okay with it.
Right.
And I said, Mike, I don't think this is a good time.
Right, you did.
And
you did.
We still did it.
And we still did it anyway. Yeah. And again, because I come from a background of being so fake and so phony, I'm so used to things being made to seem like something that it really wasn't at that time. And I wanted us to heal. Like, I knew that we went through a relationship, we were married, and I just wanted us to get beyond the pain of the things that we went through. And so I was like, yo, this is a good way, but what I should have done was made sure that we were healed first, and then did the interview with them.
I don't like the words fake and phony, though.
Well, because I don't know no other words to use it right
I think
now.
that you were doing what you knew how to do.
Right.
Like, to you, it really wasn't fake and phony. It was really just how you were. And I think we'll probably get into this more during this conversation.
Right.
But I think this was a big part of our relationship, was it was just like you were doing things that you just thought were right.
Right.
And it just really... I was like the grounded one, like, Mike, this ain't right, or Mike, we shouldn't do this, or okay, this might sound good.
Right.
And but you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah. I can admit I am controlling, and sometimes I will allow my need to control a thing to overshadow the proper way. And the truth is, growing up in church, right, whenever there was an issue or a problem, we just always, shouted it over it, prayed over it. We never took time to just give healing space. Even now, like even in a past relationship that I was in, like me and the individual are not in a great place, and I want this situation to heal so quick. I just want it to heal, like heal, come on, heal. And I'm learning, like, yo, you just have to let time heal. And after you do all that you can do, then you have to give time. And I feel like that's where I made my mistake during that time. So, all right, y'all. So this episode is probably going to be really emotional because we're going to really be honest and transparent.
For you.
But you're not really all that emotional like that, so don't even play.
I think I've been through a lot of emotions in private.
Yes.
So I don't, like, now it's not an emotional time. I think that we've done a lot of work to be in this kind of space, to be in the same room together.
Right, exactly. So. Especially to be filming together, because I will be honest, we talked about
this a million times.
Yes.
Like, no.
I
didn't want to do it with Juan and G, but you wanted to do it, so I did.
Right. I have said, okay, come on, let's film together, And every time we would like maybe attempt to do it, and then something would happen and we couldn't get together, or it was just always something.
I just never really wanted to do it.
Oh, truth is falling already. All right, so let's start from the beginning, kind of go through it, and then let's just talk about where we are now, and hopefully people out there will learn something from our journey, and they will be able to be empowered.
Okay.
All right. So years ago, when I was in another relationship, I came to your school where you were teaching.
Right.
And
when before that though? On social media.
Did we?
Yes.
What, was you flirting with me?
No.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. You were doing something with my mom.
Right. That's right. I used to host an award ceremony for women that honored women in ministry.
Yes.
And his mom is a pastor.
You were flirting with me.
I don't remember that.
I did.
Wait a minute, I was flirting with you?
Yes.
Okay. When I was in a relationship?
I mean...
Damn, I've been a hoe a long time. Okay. Shit. Okay, so I end up talking to you about your mom, or what happened with that? Because I remember I reached out to your mom.
So it started off with you doing your award show,
right?
Honoring my mom,
right? Honored your mom.
And at that time, I was in a play.
That's right. You were in a play.
Yes, and
with someone who I was going to church with.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't want to say her name, but yeah.
No, this is a whole different play. I remember you know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay,
This is a whole different play. I was in a play,
right?
And you were honoring her at the time. You wanted me to come to that, but my show
was the same night.
No, my rehearsals were the same night because my play hadn't happened yet. And you kept on asking, like, I'll leave you free tickets. I'm like, free tickets? My mom's coming.
Right,
I'm coming for free anyway. But anyway,
that's why I was giving you free tickets, because I wanted to meet you. So okay, at this time I wasn't in a relationship. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you were in a relationship, but
no, not
yes,
when
you were. You didn't break up with that boy until like the day before me. You actually got together.
No. Okay, hold on. Go back. Okay, so this is what really happened. I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say it like this so that we can be cool. I'm talking about G number one. G number one. I was not in that relationship.
There was like two people you were kind of dating at the
that
same
had
time
the same name
when we first got together. So that's...
Oh my God, my patterns have been the same. This is horrible. So, okay. So, I was talking to G number two during that time of that award ceremony.
Yes, I think y'all were still together at that time.
Yes, we were still together at that time. Right.
So, you were talking about coming, but I was in rehearsal.
Right.
I think the week, it was... something happened where I couldn't come to the show that you had because I know I was in rehearsal at that time. It was like almost time for us to actually do the actual play. So I couldn't come. And so I kept telling you, like, I can't come to your show.
You did.
Because I'm in rehearsal for this play.
And I was trying to convince you to come. I remember that.
But at that time, the place we did the play at was like a monumental place.
Right.
The Lincoln Theater in Columbus, Ohio.
Where we were at was way out in Westerville.
Well, no, but the place that we were doing the play at was like a monumental place for people doing any kind of acting. Where like, I wasn't going to miss that.
I keep forgetting you're an actor too. I keep forgetting that. That's right. Okay.
So I wasn't going to miss my play stuff for that. And so I didn't know you at that time.
Right, that's true.
I didn't care. I didn't give a damn. But, and my mom was like, she was telling me about it, but she really wasn't saying a lot about it. And so I knew that her sisters were going to be there.
Yes, because your whole family was there. Well, a lot of your family.
Her sisters and my grandmother, I think.
That's right. That's my first met your grandma.
Yeah, so because they were there, I was fine. Like, have fun. Have a good time. But me and you were conversating through social media.
Right. I remember that.
So let's get that together.
Right, that is very true. That is very true. So so then I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoot a reality show about my life. Yes. And I came to your school where you were teaching.
Yeah, we're on the right road now.
Okay. And me and you, we made a connection. And at this time, well, we talked. I'm not talking about a sexual connection. I'm talking about like we made a connection.
When you came to the school?
Yeah.
Do you even remember any of this story?
Did I come to the school or not?
You did come to the school, but I think when you came to the school, I was trying to talk to you, but you had brought your boyfriend with you. And I was like hoping you would talk to me, but you was like ignored me, I think.
What was you liking about me at that time?
It wasn't really about what I liked about you. It was more of like, it was a lot of eye contact.
Right.
Which, in my podcast I talk about, that's something that's very attractive to me.
Right.
And so it was like extreme eye contact and conversation.
Right.
And so I was like, I didn't really realize that you were the person I was talking to on social media at that time either.
Okay. So, and your mom was already kind of gassing me up. Because remember after the awards show?
But I didn't realize that was the same person.
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, you didn't know. Okay, right.
So, I'm thinking, and I wasn't out at that time either.
Right.
So it was kind of like, I hope that he said something to me, but it didn't really happen. I was kind of let down that day.
Oh, I didn't know. That is so cute.
Because I remember because the way that it was set up was, it was like some steps you come down.
Right.
There was 2 doors. You can go through the back door, the front door. You went out the front.
Right.
And I went out the back, and I walked out the back because I hope he turns around. It was almost kind of like waiting to accept, like, I hope he's not watching me, but I hope he's watching me. Like, I was hoping that you had turned around, and you just went to the car, like,
oh wow,
and never had turned around.
But that was probably
that's my perspective. Yours is probably
no, but I don't remember all the details, but I just remember I met you. But I do remember that my boyfriend was with me.
I remember you had gave me your number because you was trying to do that reality show. I was like, I think I told you, I was like, maybe I can get the cameras and do something for you outside of it because they told you no. Right,
exactly. They told me no, and then you said, well, I'll see if I can get the cameras and see if I can work outside of the school. Yeah. So, I remember that. And then me and that person were already kind of like getting ready to break up. And I remember that me and you planned to have a meeting.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, we're on track now.
Right, we planned to have a meeting. So, what day was the meeting on?
Wait, no. No, that's not what happened. You don't remember none of this.
I don't.
So what happened is that I hit you up on
Facebook at the time, because that's the only thing I had.
So what happened? The real story is this, and once I start telling you, you're gonna remember this.
Okay.
So what happened was, I think you had already did your award show,
right?
And my mom came to me and she told me that she was delivered.
Right, that was delivered from homosexuality, right?
And I needed to talk to you, and I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I don't know what that means.
Right, because she wanted you to get delivered because she knew about you.
But we had never had the conversation. So I don't know why she was telling me this. But she was like,
she knew.
But she wanted me to talk to you or whatever.
Right.
And so I was like, whatever. I kind of ignored it. But we had a mutual friend that we had kind of messed around with. Right. And we were going through each other's social media. Right. He was, and you came across his social media. Right. And I was like, well, I don't want to really do that because he just did something with my mom and she told me he was delivered. And I don't want to,
be the person to make him undelivered.
Yeah. He was like, I just checked up with him like yesterday. So I kind of beeline to you, and I was just like, okay. I hit you up about your reality show, and I was like, listen, Oh, I know what I said. I said, hey, you know, I know you went through your reality show. I was like, just let you know, whenever you need me, I'm here for you. What did I say?
I don't remember. It was like something flirtatious.
It was very flirtatious.
You was like anytime or whenever you need me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something like that.
Right.
And so that's when we had he was like, let's meet.
Right. Right. And so then we ended up meeting. I can't remember what day we met.
It was a Thursday. I know that. It was my radio show day.
Okay. So we met on a Thursday and we were talking a little bit about the reality show. I started liking him.
He took me to his house.
A whole lot.
At nighttime.
That's true.
and remember you picked me up from the bus station.
Right. Why did I pick you up from the bus station?
Because the radio station was by there.
Right.
I didn't want to know. At the time, like I said, I wasn't out.
So you didn't want
people I don't want people to know I was meeting some strange man in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh. That is so... Jesus. Okay. So after that, this is all I know, right, that happened, was you came to the house, and I think you stayed...
You better...
I think you stayed Did you stay the night?
I did not stay the night.
Not that night?
I did not.
Okay, so because you stayed...
You asked that night, that day we had met, I told you I never had a boyfriend before.
Right, I remember
I didn't
that.
want to be in a relationship with no man.
Right.
And you had asked me about being your boyfriend.
Right.
And I was like, I've never had one. I don't think I want one.
Right.
And you took me home. And I will never forget this day because this is like the first day it was really dawning on me like, am I really going to come out? And so I think I had texted you that night and I was like, well, what is it like to be a boyfriend?
Right, I do remember that. And you were like asking questions.
Yeah, like I didn't know.
And I didn't even know either because...
Even though you had like 7. But...
Okay, let's get this out the way. We all know that Michael Willis Hurd has had multiple relationships, but I do want to clear this up. The only other man that I have been engaged to outside of the dude that I'm with now is you. Period. I was never engaged to anyone else. You were the only other man that I was engaged to. But that's true. I had multiple relationships. Okay.
And so I think the next day, that was, oh no, actually what you had talked to me about was going to Florida, with you to Florida.
Because I had to preach a revival.
Oh, you was on your award show.
Oh, that's right. Because the revival came after the award show.
Yeah, you got the revival because of
the award show. Yeah. Right.
And so you was like, you said,
what I did?
You was like, you asked.
Don't forget shit.
Well, not this time because one thing I always talk about on my podcast is that you're my first boyfriend.
Right.
So a lot of things that me and you have experienced are very sentimental to me.
Right.
And so everything about our first interactions, I never forget those things.
Wow.
And so I remember you were like, you said something to me about talking to your team about going with you to Florida. And
right.
I was like, okay, thinking like there's some whole production going on, and it's like 3 kids they got to talk to that he didn't ever talk to. He really just told me to come with him. And so I ended up driving that whole time.
But hold on, can we go back a little bit? Because Aaron, I can't remember what day it was, but one day you came over to the house and you stayed the night.
This was after we came from Florida.
No, this was before we went to Florida.
Because
Are you sure?
Yes, because Thursday was my radio show.
Right.
I came to your house and then I went home.
Right, and then I had to leave.
Friday I talked to you about, what the relationship was like.
Right.
Saturday night you picked me up so we can go to Florida.
That's right.
And I drove the whole way. That was our first time spending the night when I went to Florida with you.
That's true.
And I never went home after that.
That's true. So we were in Florida, and we did the award ceremony.
Yes.
And it was a great success. It was packed. I mean, we had a great time.
Well, I was asleep.
You did not come to the award show because you drove the whole way.
Yes.
So you did not come to the award show, but it was such a great success. And I still have pictures from that award ceremony. It was jam-packed. People came from everywhere. And I remember coming back in, and I don't know why, but that night I ordered pizza. And
it wasn't pizza.
What was it? Damn, I don't even know this story. But there's one part I don't forget.
It was Waffle House because y'all all three went
right,
to Waffle House.
Right, and I brought Waffle House back
because I had y'all. You woke me up because y'all wanted Waffle House.
Right.
I woke up. I told you what I wanted.
Right.
I went back to sleep, and you woke me back up when y'all came back.
Right. And then after that, me and you, and I don't know if we were by ourselves or not, but we decided to go swimming late.
Yes. Okay, this part is right.
So we decided to go swimming late, and me and you were in the pool, and we were like being like boyfriends a little bit, like, you know, kissing and hugging and stuff. And this is a part that I want to make sure that I make right. You and me, I don't know where we were, but we were on the side of the pool or something. And I don't know what happened, but something so magical happened between me and you at that moment.
I can't explain.
I can't explain it either, but it was real. And I felt like at that moment, something inside of me connected with something that was inside of you. And that was real.
Yeah.
Right? And
we had not had sex yet.
Right, and it took you forever to have sex with me. But it was such a spiritual moment at that time, right? And I will never ever forget that. That's how I knew that you were the one. Like, I knew that then. So then when you came home, when we got home from the awards, I remember you just came over and like you never left.
Okay.
You never left. He never left. He stayed there.
I never left. Okay.
Was that true?
You asked me to stay.
Well, okay, I asked you to stay. Well, actually.
But let's rewind. So what happened?
I did ask him to stay, but there were circumstances why I asked you to stay.
Whatever you say. What happened in that pool was we were actually in the pool. I don't think we had even ate that food yet.
Right.
But you had picked me up. We were walking around the pool.
That's right. I was picking you because I was rubbing your booty. Right.
Probably.
Because that's what I do. That and crumping.
And I think it was just... That's the inside joke.
Like you would have to have lived with us, been in our lives to understand that. But okay.
But yeah, that's what it was. I think we were looking each other in our eyes while you were doing that.
Right.
And that's what really was like the connection between me and you.
Right.
And I think that for me, I think the reason why I remember this is because that's what made me feel like I can actually be a boyfriend to another man.
Right. Right. And I remember when we got home, we had another conversation and you was like, are you sure like this is what you want to do? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yes. And then you asked me a question that I lied. And I lied because I was afraid.
Yes.
I was afraid. You asked me, you was like, well, do you want this to be just me and you? Or do you want this to be open?
Or do you want to have threesomes?
You did say that.
Yes, I did.
And at the time, now y'all know I'm a hoe now, so I'm like very open and boisterous and I say what it is now. But back then, I was afraid because I was a pastor. And I couldn't be honest about, I felt like I couldn't be honest about what it is that I really wanted. Mm-hmm. And so you was just like, okay. And I remember that's exactly how you said it. You were like, okay.
I said it just like that.
So fast forward, we're living together now. Every day we're together.
You want to talk about your fix a house?
No, I don't want to talk about that. I bought a house that was a fixer-upper.
No cabinets, no doors, no refrigerator, no stove.
No, all we had was an air mattress.
Air mattress in the attic.
It was a mess. But yeah, so we are living together, and eventually I decide, something happened, and did we start the church?
You already had the church because remember,
right? Because we were already meeting.
Y'all were meeting. I was upstairs.
Right. So we were actually meeting in your mom's church.
No, you was meeting in your house.
Oh, that's right, in the house first, because remember and then we went to Jeremy Hess's house, remember?
Yeah.
That's right. Shout out to Jeremy Hess and Mrs. Hess. All right, so we were having the church.
Remember, he heard me upstairs.
That's right, because I was having church in my little empty living area.
Whatever that was.
So the church was starting to grow, people were coming, and so on and so forth. So life is going, and then we come to Atlanta.
Wait, that had to happen before we went to Florida.
No, because remember...
Because you had...
You mean the second time?
No, the first time, because remember, you came upstairs.
Right, that was the first night you spent. That's why I told you.
That's a Sunday, though.
That's why I told you the first night you spent was before we went to the awards.
No, Mike, listen, you had church on Sundays.
Right.
I met you on a Thursday.
Right.
So that Sunday night is when we went to Florida. We left at midnight that night.
That's right. And you stayed, Saturday night you stayed over.
I did not. Oh,
so
I must
why
have.
were you upstairs? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so you were upstairs because we were like...
So I must have stayed Saturday night.
And he never left. And so, pretty much, to fast forward, so we come to Atlanta, and we're here in Atlanta just to visit, remember?
No, we got to Atlanta because we helped my friend move.
Right.
She was a flight attendant.
And
she gave us buddy passes.
Gave us buddy passes, right.
And our buddy passes were expiring.
Right, and so we had to use them.
And you was like, I want to go to Atlanta because I need to visit this church. And I'm like...
Right, I was talking about the Vision Church of Atlanta with Bishop O.C. Allen and First Gentleman Rashad.
And at that time, you already had that church.
Right.
And you had already started building. The people were there.
Right, and by this time, we were already meeting at your mom's church.
Your mom's church, yeah.
Exactly,
yeah.
I remember that. And so, and then I ended up preaching a revival, and I'm preaching a service for Tier. Remember we went to Tier in Scott Church? Yes. So if you all go back and look at an old episode of Kings and Conversations, Tier was on the show, and
that's when I first met her.
Right, when we came down here,
yeah.
And when she was on the show, and she told me, she said, "Boy, if you ever come to my church again and don't introduce me to your husband," so that just recently happened that she brought that up. But then we came down here, and we kind of, I don't know, Atlanta wasn't easy for us because. We
got stuck here.
We did get stuck because every time we tried to fly out, the flights were full or the weather.
It was the weather and the flights were full. We got stuck here. We came here. It was Christmas time.
It was around the
Remember
holiday.
Mandrell bought us Christmas gifts.
Right, that's right.
We came down. It had to
Shout out to Mandrell.
It had to be after Thanksgiving.
Right.
And we came down here and
it was like the 1st of December.
It had to be around that time because we were supposed to leave. I think we stayed a week with Antonio.
Right.
And then we got stuck here that first time trying to go back.
Right.
And then every time we were supposed to leave, we got stuck here because of the weather.
Right.
And then people kept praying for us to stay.
Right. People were like, y'all don't need to leave. Yeah. And then I remember the church people in Ohio were like getting upset because they were like, where are you? What's going on? You tricked us. You're a liar. Like, you said you were going to do this church and now you down in the land. So, because everybody knows when people get mad at me, the first thing, I'm a liar, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to really kind of see how this works. Now, this is where our relationship first started kind of getting tested, I believe.
That's very true.
Yeah. And
okay.
And I will say this.
I don't think that's where it was, but go ahead.
You don't think it was when we got here?
No, it was before that.
Really?
Yeah, it was when we went to Baltimore first.
Do we need to talk about that?
No, but that's where.
No, because I said
I don't want to talk about it. It started in Baltimore.
Okay, so but you don't want me to say what it was.
That you cheated on me. And then,
no story, no backline.
I don't
okay,
really want to give it a lot.
But that is the truth. Yeah. I did, and I told him when I did it. Like, I was honest.
He was crying. I didn't understand it, and it was weird. But
right. And I remember that. And then I remember you forgave me, and you were like, "We're gonna move forward."
When we got back, you made me go to my mom's house because you didn't know what you wanted. It was a lot. I don't want to really revisit that.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, let me say this. I've already apologized.
You did.
For that.
Yes.
I've tried my best to show you that I'm sorry and that I was wrong, and I know that, I should have done things differently.
Go through all this.
Because I just want you to know that I realized that was the beginning of the door being opened for me in my not so wonderful behaviors. But the truth is, if I would have been honest in the beginning and just told you what I really wanted, it would probably been a different story.
And it would have, because the group of people that we were around at that time my friend that we were visiting
Right.
we were already on that page.
Right, exactly.
So I think that's why that pissed me off so much.
Right, because you gave me the opportunity.
Because I'm like, you didn't have to, like, it didn't have to be that.
Right, it did not. And again, me trying to keep up an image, me trying to make things seem like I want a certain type of way when I really wasn't. Yeah. And so I definitely regret that, and eventually I learned from that.
I think that's probably why that bothers me the most.
Right.
I think out of everything that we've been through, that situation really bothered me the most.
Right. Do you feel like you were ever able to really let that go?
I don't think so.
Right. Now, I think now you have. At this
I think it's regular. No, I'm just playing.
I'm trying to trigger your ass. Don't do it.
But I mean, as we talk about it, when
Right.
I think about all the things that we've been through,
Right.
that was what hurt the most to me, because I'm like, I gave you an opportunity, and like, it was with my friends. Like,
Right.
that's what really, I think that's one of the biggest things that hurt me.
That it was someone in your friend circle?
Yes,
Okay.
and the fact that I gave you opportunity to say that this is something that you wanted to do, and you
Wow.
and it was like, well, I asked them, and then this shouldn't be a thing.
Right. It shouldn't have even happened.
Because I think I asked you, I was like, was it good?
Because at first you didn't believe me when I
Yeah.
told you, and then I was like, "This is what happened," and you was like,
When you started crying, that's when I believed you.
Right, that is. And it's so funny because believe me, when I tell you I got the karma back from that, like where someone who, who I care about, even now, is still trying to deal with my friends, like trying to have sex with my friends. So thank you for helping me to remember that what I'm dealing with is karma. So, okay, I got it. All right, cool. All right. So, so after that, we were in Atlanta for a while. We were here for about a year. We were at a really bad place because, and I want to say this. I want to make sure I clear this up. Whenever Mike and Aaron were in a bad place, it was because of Mike. Aaron has always been the type of dude to always just want to be honest and open and real. And when we were even coming here, what else? What else do you want me to list?
I was supposed to keep going.
When we were even getting prepared for this today, we were talking, and you really were the person that was always trying to get me to be my most authentic self. From jump. Like, you were like, why are you putting on for these people? Why are you trying to be this? Like, and you would always say, Mike, you are anointed, and you can still be anointed and still be the real you. And I couldn't receive that because my religious mind wouldn't let me process that.
I think that was our biggest struggle, was because I didn't understand that.
Right.
And not to put out other people's business,
Right.
but it just felt like you were the only person doing that.
Right.
And I didn't get it. It was just like, even if it was just between me and you,
Right.
like, what you really wanted, you could have had, and you were just trying to put on for whoever it was. I didn't know who it was, but you were trying to put on for whoever it was, and I'm like, who is it? Because I was good for weeding people out.
Right.
But let me weed these people out,
Right.
so we can like really be realistic about this.
Right. That is so true. Like, you were really there. And let me tell you why I did that. Because I wanted you to love me. And I felt, now this is just honest. I felt like, because I've been told that me being gay, me not having normal sexual desires, that God didn't love me, or God was mad at me, or God hated me. So I felt like, well, damn, if God hates me, if he ever knows what it is that I really want, he would hate me too. And even though I knew that you were with the shit, because by this time you already had your little freak Twitter group, and
Well, that's before I met you.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You were already open, honest. You realize, like, think about this. You've done on Twitter what I'm just now doing on Twitter. You've done that 10 years ago.
I talk about this all the time. Seriously, I talk about this all the time. I'm like, it's so weird because even with our relationship, like the things that I did over 10 years ago.
That's true.
People are doing now, and they're making great money off of it and things like that. But it's crazy because back then we were just kind of sneaking and doing it. And we were having a good time with it.
Right.
But we were doing that way back then.
Way back then. And I'm just now walking in that area, you know, with doing Twitter, doing OnlyFans. And I will tell you this, when I came out doing OnlyFans, the only person that wasn't shocked was you. You were like, this is the person I've always
I was like, is it time yet? Oh, he's not ready? Okay. Wait.
You were not shocked at all.
Are you ready to come out? No.
You were not shocked.
I'll wait.
But you would always tell me, like, Mike, yo, be your real self. Be honest. If people love you, they're going to love you for who you really are. I could not process that, Aaron, and that is the truth. Mentally and emotionally, I could not process that. If my man knew how much of a hoe I wanted to be, he would not want to be with me. That's how I thought.
Well, let's go later on down the line then.
Okay.
We'll have that conversation because
right.
I think at a certain point of us being together, I really didn't get it.
Right. And I will tell you this. One of the reasons why I think I have the confidence to do me now and be as bold as I am is because there was a process that was walked out.
Absolutely.
And I start opening up a little, and this is how I would open up. I would go a little bit, come back. Push a little bit and come back. Do a little bit and come back. Remember, I didn't even have tattoos back then.
We got tattoos together.
But I'm talking about how I am.
Before we moved.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Right. So little by little, I was starting to open up.
Yeah.
You were already like, let's just be, and see.
I think I already had a tattoo. I already had one.
You did. This is the thing that blew me away. I really was cool about being with you because I was like, yo, his mom is a pastor. His dad is a first G, so he already knows the game. This nigga was not trying to be on the game. And you would always say that.
Because I'm trying to be, you had to fight me to go to church.
That's true. That's true. I'd be like, nigga, we are going to church.
I'm like, you going to church.
I'm going to tell y'all one time we got into it really bad. I was getting ready for church. No, I had church that Sunday. I think I had some type of program or whatever. And this nigga wanted to go to Pride in D.C.
That is not what happened.
That is exactly what happened.
What happened was, as a pastor, you have all these sons.
Right. Not anymore.
They were living with us.
That's true.
And it irritated me to the
because I would let everybody live with us. That's true.
And they never worked. They didn't clean.
Okay, hold on now. Let's not throw anyone under the bus.
I'm not throwing nobody under the bus. I said no names.
No, listen, y'all should see.
I'm telling you what happened during that time.
Y'all should see my partner in the back. He over there like, that won't be us.
I'm just telling you what happened at that time.
Right.
That day that I decided, it was like that day I decided I was leaving. I was going to hang with my brother.
Right.
Because I had to get out of it. It was so stressful because nobody was working.
Right.
And I woke up in the morning time and there was snoring so loud when I left the house.
Speaking of snoring, did I used to snore?
Yeah. I don't know because I snore.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I think you did, but I know mine's probably worse. But that day, I think it's something that just broken me. I had to get out of there. I remember I took off of work.
Right.
I don't think I even told you that.
Right.
We got into it
so bad. I was like, how is it going to look? I'm a pastor. Everybody knows who you are. And you're up here at Pride.
And I still left because I didn't care.
You sure did not.
I
did not care. You did.
It was so much going on.
I was so mad. Oh, I was so mad.
We got into it really bad.
We did really, really, really bad. And I was like, if you leave, do not come back. And you was like, nigga, we are in my grandma's apartment.
No, we was living on the south side then.
No, we were living
we lived in Miss Betty's house. Miss Betty's
house.
Oh,
that's right. That's right.
I will never forget it because we got into it in the parking lot.
That's true.
In the driveway, I mean. And you wanted me to pay the rent before
I am so shamed. Like, the fact that I actually acted like this is just absolutely horrible.
He stood in front of the car and back of the car, jumped in the car. It was a mess.
That is the truth. And I was...
But I still left.
You sure did. And I was mad.
And then the funniest part about that was you called the whole entire time I was on my way there. And then when I got there, you was like, you want to break up? And I said, you're in Pride, really? Is that a good time?
I was so mad at him.
And you call back like, I don't think we would have break up.
Right, because I was like, wait a minute, if we break up,
ball at Pride.
I was like, he about to turn. I was like, he already gonna be drunk. I said, so, but I think that, like, even for us to be able to film now and to be sitting in front of this bar, like, y'all have no idea.
And laughing about this.
Like, this is so much growth. Y'all just don't know, because I was so against so much because I was all about image. I remember G made me so mad when we did that interview, and he was like, Mike, is image important to you?
Can I clear something up about that interview?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
The biggest thing that I really hated about it is that you came in on 10.
I did not come in on 10.
Because I was there before you got there.
But I wasn't on 10, though.
You were not trying to hear anything because you felt like...
I wasn't trying to hear anything.
Because
That's
you
true.
felt like they asked me something that you weren't privy to.
That's true. I did feel that way.
And the only thing that they asked me was, tell me your love story. Which is funny because you're telling it now.
I am telling it now.
But you didn't tell it like this.
Because, you know what? I won't say I was on 10. I was definitely on 8. Because I didn't know what to expect, and I felt like I was walking into something that was already going on, and I felt ambushed, and I felt like, okay, this isn't right. But I was late because of my Uber driver, and I should have just left earlier because they got stuck in traffic and they went the wrong way. So it's not hard to get to Atlantic Station, but that's just kind of what happened. And you're right.
But I really want to clear that up because that's the only reason why you really like that, which led to the downfall of the rest of the video.
Right, because at that, no, I felt like we had two different versions of things that happened. And I felt like...
Everything they asked after that, you were there.
Right, but I felt like you gave I felt like he gave a truthful answer that made me look bad. And I'm just keeping it real.
But how did that make you look bad?
I forget the question that they asked.
They asked me what was our love story. I told them how we... No, that's what they asked.
I know that. I'm talking about in the interview. During the interview, they asked about something, and you gave an answer, and I felt like it just made me look bad. And so I was like, you know what? That's it. I can't do it. You talking crazy.
But that was because of your reactions to the question. Because you were offended because you didn't know what happened before you got there.
I know. I think it was a direct extension of that. But I'm just saying, but that was the thing that really just made me...
But I think had you been there when I got there,
it probably
you wouldn't have been like that.
Really? Yeah. I agree with you on that part. But that was a synopsis of what...
I always wanted to clear that up, though.
You have.
Because it wasn't them.
It wasn't conspiracy. It wasn't a conspiracy.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was just the fact that you just didn't know, and you hate not knowing things.
Down. I don't even like surprises. I don't like surprises.
And that was a surprise to you.
I don't like surprises because, and I know this is because I'm controlling, and I have to feel like I'm safe. One of the reasons why I am controlling is because of me being molested at such a young age by multiple people that are close to me that should have protected me, should have covered me, should have been there for me. I just felt like I had no control. Even in life now, I still struggle with that. Like, I still struggle. Sometimes I even have to be like, okay, just let Monty handle this. Like, you don't have to do it. But I get scared because I feel like if my hand isn't on it, then I don't know what the outcome's going to be. So that is what scares me and why I am controlling. And when I came into the interview, I felt like I had no control. I couldn't control the narrative. I couldn't control the energy. I couldn't control the temperature. I was just afraid.
And that's really what it was.
That really. And even me acting out, storming out, being upset, all that was a result of
I think I felt very offended because out of all the things we've been through, I've never let you look like a fool on purpose.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I do.
When have I made you look like a fool on purpose?
I do. I feel like there's been times
in the public.
There has been times where you've gone on social media.
After we broke up. Not while we were together.
Okay, that is true. Let me tell you what I feel about loyalty.
And that was like one time.
Okay, that one time stuck with me.
That's fine. I'll give you that.
But I'm the type of person, and you know this, and you've seen me be this way, where if someone does something to me, I will be hurt, sad, frustrated behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. But I will never make anything public. Never. Like, I won't make a mess public. And even when people try to do things to me now, like, I'm not about to make something public with you. I'm not going to put that out there. You can say whatever you want to say now because I'm in a better place now. But before, you know, that was a trigger for me. When someone would make something public or they would put it out there. And I remember I asked you, I said, Aaron, why would you do that? And I remember you responded and said that was the only way I could get your attention.
And that, I was going to say that. I felt like that at that time. That was the only time.
Do you think that's why people do that to me now? Because maybe that's why they're trying to get my attention.
I think that you are very, when it comes to you, when you've dealt with you for so long, people are trying to really do things with you or trying to talk to you and
right.
You're just not hearing it.
Right.
That's the last resort.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times people do that because they just want you to hear what they're saying, not try to demolish you or, you know, make you look bad, but like, this is the only way to get your attention.
Do you feel that I'm the type of person that when I'm done, I become cold and like cut off? Like, do you feel like I'm like that? Like, when
well, you're not like that with me, but I don't.
Well, I'm not like that with you now. But Aaron, we have come a long way. We have been separated.
But we've never really been cut off, like completely. Never. We've never really been like that.
I don't know.
We've cut each other off for a certain periodically amounts of time.
Right. Periodic amount of time. Right.
Yeah, but
periodically.
No, I was saying it.
No, I feel it. I understand.
But we've cut each other off for different things for a certain amount of time, but we've never really been cut off from each other.
Okay.
Like, even when I'm mad at you, like, you may think I blocked you. I may block you for a few days because you want to contact me for a few days. You're going to give up. But I'm going to unblock you because I know something happens to you. You're going to call me.
Right. And vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah.
Right.
So I think that, but we've never really been disconnected to the point where it's like, you make me mad, this is it. Like, we're done. It's over. We're never going to speak to each other again. We've never really been like that.
Do you ever feel like I was, like, cold to you? Like,
you've been cold to me a lot of times, yes.
I apologize.
In our relationship, especially when we moved to Atlanta.
I apologize. I can see it. Like, now, I can look back and see it now.
I think we've talked about every time that I felt like that.
Right.
But I think the first time we moved here, it was like, I never wanted to come back here.
Right, you did not.
Yeah, when you said it the second time,
right.
I was like, we're going to break when we get back. I already know. And we did.
And we did. And we did. We broke up when we got back. I think, again, I know this 100% for sure. If I was the person then that I am now, we would still be married. We would still be together. I would have had more wisdom. I would have known things a lot better. I would have seen things a lot better. I would have not felt the pressure to try to do something or be something that I wasn't at that time.
But that just wasn't our path. Like,
right.
Honestly, I think that we were each other's help.
Right.
You know, I came into your life for certain things. You came into my life for certain things.
Right.
Like, I tell people all the time, I learned how to be an adult after me and you broke up.
Wow.
I had to learn how to pay my bills. I learned how to live by myself. I've learned how to do a lot of things by myself. I've never had to be by myself before.
Because in Aaron's family, his nickname is Aaron Everything. When I tell you his whole family caters to him, that is true.
But I think that you had a lot of things that you need to be broken from your family that just wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And sometimes I really feel sad that it was me who had to be like that because it brought so many bad days between me and you.
Right.
But I also am grateful sometimes. And like I tell you all the time, like, you know, people don't agree with the things that you do now, but I'm proud of you. Like, it's like you are who you are. And I think that people don't understand where you actually came from.
Right.
And how in a box you were before and who you are now is so different.
Right.
And so the only thing, like, it took a long time for me to be happy for that, because I was mad, like, well, why the fuck, like, I was mad.
Why
like,
wasn't I like this?
I've been saying this, I love to bring it back, like I told you so, but
Right.
but it was always like, I really wish that we could have experienced a lot of things that you're experiencing now together.
Right.
But it just wasn't for me and you to do together.
Right.
And it took a long time for me to accept that.
Right.
But when I do see you doing things, and when I do see that you're happy, it's like, I never really thought that I could really be happy for you.
Right.
But as life has gone on, I'm like, you know what? Let me revert back to me and what I've learned about me during this, because, I'd like to think I know everything.
People. But I will say this, in a lot of things you do be right, though.
Yeah, but I think for other people, not for me. And I think because I had time to myself to be isolated and to learn about me,
right.
It gave me an opportunity to really grasp who Aaron is,
right.
and what I really want out of life, because one of my biggest regrets is I'm kind of like going back to what I was doing before me and you met.
Right.
And trying to redo things. And like,
right.
even what you say, like, I could have been so much farther, if me and you didn't go through our relationship.
Right.
But it was a break in time. I just think it was from God. Like, I was supposed to be a gift to you. To say, hey.
You are a gift to me. And I see it every day. Like I told you, every day I always say, damn. And at least once or twice a day, I'm like, damn, Aaron was so right about that. Or Aaron tried to tell me this, or Aaron tried to get me to see this. And for me, with everything that we went through, from arguments to fighting to just, whatever we went through, like, I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I am sorry. And I realized the mistakes that I made, and I realized that I hurt you. I realized that I could have done things different. I didn't know how. And that's just the truth. I didn't know how. But looking back, I just wish I knew more.
But I think the breakup between me and you is what opened that door.
Yes. Because if we would have never broke up.
Yeah, right. I think that, I feel like almost like I planted a seed and then you grew.
Yeah.
And then once the soil was open, it was really time for us to separate. And we held on a lot longer than we should have.
This is so hard. This is hard.
And this is growth. I mean, honestly,
this is what happened.
This is really growth between me and you, because even after we broke up, like, I was so angry, and I was like, I didn't understand it. Like, I really did not understand why we broke up. Like, it was really hard, that. And like, when you was dating people, I hated them. I didn't like them. I wanted them to all die and perish.
Right.
But like, just to be able to, meet your partner and, things like that, like, and say, I actually like this person.
You do.
It's different because I've never been like that. You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? But it comes with growth, and I think that the older that I get and the more that I reflect back to our relationship and things that we've learned with each other, it just makes me feel like, it wasn't because we didn't break up because of bad terms. It was just our time.
It was just our time. And I think, like, I remember, like, the day that we went to go get our marriage license, right? Like, I was so proud of myself for that step.
Yeah.
Because for me and for you, like, that was so beyond our families.
Yeah.
Like, I was so scared, but I was so proud of us. And people can look at my life and they can crack jokes and they can say all kind of crazy things, but they don't know how hard it is for me to live my truth.
Yeah.
I grew up in an atmosphere of lies,
and that's where me and you connect.
Right. I grew up in an atmosphere of lies. All I know is how to put on to make things seem a certain way. So now, when I'm living my truth and telling the truth and someone calls me a liar, that triggers me. Like, I'm ready to pop off. Because I'm like, you have no
But
idea.
But that's always been a thing for you.
Yes. Yes, because it's hard when I know that I'm breaking something that I normally do to tell the truth and be honest. And I know for like the longest time, I would pray and I'd be like, God, please let me and Aaron heal, because I never not wanted you to be a part of my life. And when I knew like I was gonna get into like an official relationship with Monty, it was so important for me to talk to you, because I know I've been in other relationships and I know that you've had to see me with other people, and I know that hurt. I did not mean that. I never ever meant to hurt you, ever. Never did I ever mean to hurt you. And I knew that I could not move forward in something that I wanted to be real and lasting without your blessing. And I know that doesn't make sense because people don't understand where we are.
But it makes sense to me though. I get it. Don't you something?
Like, I didn't want you to not be in my life. Like, every major thing that I went through as an adult, I did with you. Like,
I mean, and that's the same for me. Like
people don't know, but
we've had a lot of our firsts together.
Yeah, we went through some hard shit.
Yeah.
From I remember when we had the church in Columbus, and there was a flyer that went out about us opening up a new church, and then everybody in the world was like speaking against us, and we went viral on social media. And then the first gentleman with the earrings, and that you still got those earrings.
I got longer ones.
Yes. But we went through so much. That's why
we didn't know what we was doing.
We had no clue. No one was there to show us the ropes. No one was there to be like, okay, move like this, do like that.
And I really didn't know what I was doing, because I wasn't even going to church when me and you met. And when you made me go to church, I'm like, this ain't gonna last long.
Listen, I was so shocked. I remember, like, you did not. You was just like, this is not me.
Even I think when we moved to Maryland, I stopped going again.
You sure did.
I was like,
and I was going.
Thank God I got a flight attendant job, so I had to be there for real.
And I navigating to a place of truth with you was the hardest thing, because again, all the mistakes I made, I made with you. And by the time I got with like Ty or with my most recent ex, I was already a different person.
Yeah.
I wasn't perfect, so I don't want to make it sound like that either, or everything that they say about me is a lie. No, that's not true. But everything that they said ain't true either. But I was a way better person in a way better position to be honest and tell my truth. You were the person who definitely planted that seed in the ground to help me to start being my most authentic self. But I will tell you,
sometimes I regret it.
But then Ty came along, and Ty was the person that watered that and was like, yo, you need to stop living for other people. Come on, it's time. Be freak nasty like you want to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was that type of individual to me. And then when I got with my my relationship after Ty, and then that person really just taught me, like, yo, you can be that, but also you can be a king, and also you can be this, and also you can be that. So it was always like that building block. But none of that would have ever happened if I didn't have that time with you. And I want you to know, and I've said this in private, I'm saying it in public, I will always love you. For the rest of my life, I will always love you, and you're family to me. And if you ever need anything, I don't care what it is, I'm going to be here for you, regardless. And I'm so grateful that my partner is so cool with that. I'm so grateful. I remember me and you were like texting and talking on a daily basis. And then we stopped talking for a minute, and it wasn't nothing really crazy. We was just not talking for a minute. And my partner came in the bedroom one day. He was like, hey, you talk to Aaron? And I was like, what would make you ask that? He was like, cuz, like, y'all talk all the time. And I was like, how do you feel about that? He was like, I'm fine with it. Like, that's cool. Like, that's the person that you spent your life with. So I'm just grateful that I don't have to ever choose or be like, oh, well, you can't be cool with him, because I'm going to always have your back. Always. And I'll be grateful when, I'm able to be in this type of place with my other ex, and I know that time will come.
Yes, and you know that because with all your exes I've been through them.
Right.
The ones before me, the ones after me.
Right.
But we've been through this.
Right.
And I think it's so funny because last week on the podcast, they were asking if you love someone, can you ever stop loving them?
Right.
And and we all agreed no.
Right.
You can never stop loving them.
Never stop loving them.
And I'm like, you are my first boyfriend, you're my first husband.
Wow.
You're gonna be my first person I divorce. Like, you're a lot of my first with a man. That's who you are.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that we've experienced together where you can't let that stuff go. You know what I mean? It's not to scare anyone who's dating us to be like, oh, they're gonna get back together one day.
Right. No.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
We have had our journey. We had, and I think this is what is so important. Honest to God, I was wishing that we were able to do this 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
I'm going to tell you something. There's a podcast called Hella Single.
Okay.
And he did a interview with his ex, and I was like, Mike's been asking me to do this for a long time.
Right.
Maybe this would be cool,
Right.
And I was like, because at that time, I don't think I was probably ready to do it.
Right.
I think that's why I always put it off when you asked me to do it, because I'm like, I don't think I'm ready yet. I'm not ready yet. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's probably because of Monty. Because I've never been really comfortable with anybody that you dated.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
that is the truth.
And I really haven't been, because it's always been like a disrespectful kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we haven't really been on good terms.
And I don't think that, especially my last ex, I don't think it was his intention to disrespect you. I think he just always wanted to be Team Mike, and he knew that you had the power to trigger me. And I don't know why, but you have this power to trigger me. And now, the crazy thing is that if I allowed them, they would have the power to trigger me too. But I've learned from it. So I don't let how you were able to trigger me. Like they can't do that, only because I learned, not to allow it anymore. But that's what I think it was. I don't think they ever intended to disrespect you. I just think they just wanted to always show that they were Team Mike.
But I also think it's what's the word you're looking for? A defense mechanism.
Yes.
For you, for me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want you to date someone. Not saying that whoever you dated was bad.
Right.
I don't really know any of them.
Right.
But I've never really just felt comfortable with anybody.
Right.
And, out of all of that you dated, it just like, to me, this just seems right to me.
Yeah.
So
the crazy thing is that's what everybody says. Like, everybody is like, okay.
No disrespect to anybody.
Right. Everybody was like, this one, just my family, all my friends, my exes that I'm close with, that I talk to, everybody has said the same thing. Like, Mike, I feel like God is giving you a second chance. So let me tell you what about me.
And before you say that, because something that you always say is that we're family.
Right.
So like now, I kind of look at you like my brother, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a family thing. Like, I don't like him. Everybody who comes in is almost like that.
Right.
And like this time, I'm not in a space where I'm looking at you as my ex. It's more like my family member.
Right.
And I think that's where we are now.
Right. And I love it because it just, one, it keeps me accountable. Two, because the real me. And it helps my partner to be able to understand my journey. Because I want to be transparent. I want to be honest. And, and it gives me that strength to say, yo, look how far I've come. Because I have come,
a very long way.
But
long road.
Because it's so funny because, whenever people get mad at me, I'm the liar, I'm the manipulator, I'm this, I'm that. Now, while they're happy with me, I'm none of that. But of course, it's once they're mad. So I'm like, damn, The only person who really knows me, like, seriously, is Aaron. Like, he's the only one that really knows who I am. So I never wanted to be on bad terms with you. If none of my other exes ever talked to me ever again, I wanted to make sure that you were the one.
But you still want to talk to all of them.
I do, because I love, let me tell you, because you know this and you know me, I love all my exes.
You do.
If I loved you at any point in time,
You want to be friends with all of them.
I love you right now the same. I don't care how much you've been on the internet about me. I don't care how much you said. I don't care what you told. I don't care what you put. None of that matters. I still love it. And I remember when Ty died, I remember how I grieved so long. And that's what really made me want to be like, yo, I got to get things right, like with Aaron, because I don't want nothing to happen and I can't say what I need to say. And he died without us ever being able to have a conversation. You know what I mean? Of course, I found out some really great things later, but
I think that's something that I think about all the time too. It's like if something happens to you,
right,
and we're not on good terms,
right,
how would that make me feel?
Right. And I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And so everybody who,
but and that's the other thing too with me and you, like, even if we manage it, we might block each other for a few days, hours, whatever. We're gonna unblock each other. We may not say we unblock you,
right,
but we unblock just in case something happens.
Right. So I'm itching because my weave is itching.
Yes.
You don't like my hair? So I like it.
Pat your weave, ladies.
But yes, that's true. I didn't want that to happen. So for everybody, in total transparency, Aaron and I are still legally married. So if anything did happen to me, one of the things I know, if anything happens to me,
because I've gotten a lot of inboxes.
Of course. And what people don't know is I did not get engaged until I talked to you.
That's very true. I tell everybody who's asking, I told them that.
Right. Like I even though people may say, oh, you didn't do it the right way, I did it the right way for us in this situation. And people say, well, why are y'all still married? No, that is none of y'all's business. There were things that we needed to do while we were still legally married that would benefit and take care of both of us. And that's what it is. What? What? I don't know what he said. But I did not want anything to happen and we'd be on bad terms. Because if anything happens to me before our divorce is final, the truth of the matter is you're still in charge. And I don't want Monty to not be able to come to the funeral. I don't want Monty to not be able to grieve the right way. You know what I'm saying? But I know you're the type of person that you've always been a man full of love. Like, I will always say that. And you will always make sure at the end of the day you do the right thing. You know what I mean? My kids love you. Like, you know, matter of fact, my daughter asked me the other day, she was like, so, okay, I love Monty. She was like, is it okay if I still like Aaron? I'm like, yes. So she calls Monty her new stepdaddy, and she says, Aaron's my old stepdad. So I think that's cool. But that works for us. You know what I mean? But I just want you to know I support you in what you do. And I'm going to always have your back.
Like, I'm always have your back.
I believe that.
And you know that.
I believe that. I 100% believe that. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your podcast, Affairs of the Heart. First of all, I told you, I said, I better not be your storyline.
Let me ask you this.
I meant that.
Let me ask you this. Do you know where that name came from?
Yes.
Where?
Golden Brooks on Girlfriends. Okay. Everything I know about Girlfriends, Faith Evans, Beyonce, and there's a couple other things. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Those are the main things.
It's you. I know all the lines from Girlfriends because
the Affairs of the Heart.
The Affairs of the Heart, because your little affair of the heart. Like, she already told me about the little affair of the heart. Yeah.
So the reason why I came up with that was because, you know, prior to you, I've never dated a man before.
Right.
So I wanted to give people my journey of dating after being married and like being thrown into dating. Right. And never dating before.
Right.
So that's basically what the podcast is about. It's about me dating and, you know, you're my first boyfriend, first person I've married, all that stuff. Right. But the podcast is about me dating after that because I've never dated before. Right. So I just talk about my journey about dating after that because I've never had a date. Right. And I talk about the fact that even when me and you met, we got together. We moved in together after like a few days.
I'm telling you, he never left.
Because he asked me to.
He is going to always stick with that. I didn't want him to leave, though, because I didn't want to be in that house by myself.
No, I wouldn't want to be. It was like a scary house.
It was. But in the hood.
But we do talk about our relationship a lot because I relate the things that scare me, the things that are difficult for me.
Right.
And I learned a lot of things. People walk through the process of me dating a few people during the podcast because it is very difficult for me to date after dating you because
why is that?
not because of you specifically, but because our relationship lasted so long.
Right.
And like after that, it's like dating has changed since me and you got together.
Right. I remember a post that you put up, and Ty's ex-husband actually commented on it. You was like, I wish I would have dated more before I got married or something like that, because now the first thing I want to do is go into a relationship expecting...
Yeah, I go into husband mode.
Yeah, you go into husband mode. And I remember Ty's ex-husband, he was like, bro, I understand that. I remember he commented on that,
Like, that's a big issue for me.
Because they did the same thing.
Yeah,
they got together super quick. And
man, we're cool.
Yeah, and his music is really good.
Yeah, I think I played his music on my radio show.
I really like Corey, and anyone will tell you this. Even when me and Ty were together, and Ty would be mad and going through his frustrations, I would still always talk really positive about Corey because I always had a feeling.
Well, before you and Ty dated, me and Ty were cool.
That is very true because when you found out that we got together, you inboxed him and you checked him, and then Ty was like, what is wrong with Aaron? Like, what's going on? I was like, what happened? But that was but I saw the message.
It's a story for another day.
Definitely.
But yeah, I walk through that because I think that is something for people who don't know how to date.
Right.
To just be educated on how to date.
That's good.
And then we also do like sex education because, we as gay people, we've never had sex education.
Right.
So
sex education, which is definitely different.
Right. Yeah. And we don't have an example of what it looks like as a relationship.
Right.
So those are the things that we talk about on the podcast.
Okay.
And like it's a very open and honest conversation.
Right. I've heard it,
I talk about my freak Twitter pages that I've had.
Which you don't have anymore.
I don't.
Because I definitely looked for it because I felt like, since we're all freaks on Twitter, let us all,
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, I feel like with me being in broadcasting for so long, it's just something that I really want to do for our community.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's growing.
Absolutely. I was just talking to Dwayne today because I was like, it's so
Dwayne is your co-host.
Yes.
Right.
Dwayne's my co-host. It's me and Dwayne.
Yeah, good guy.
So we do our podcast. We record it on Monday or Tuesday. We release it on Wednesdays or sometimes Thursdays if we're lazy. And then we do the lives Thursday night.
Right.
So you have opportunity to interact with us for the topic that we talked about on the podcast.
Right.
Live.
So it's like, you go live on Thursday nights.
Yeah. So it's
based on what you
like watching Housewives of Atlanta, then watching Andy, Watch What Happens Live.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
But that's always Thursday nights, and it's a really good time Thursday nights because people have an opportunity to actually talk about things we talked about.
Right.
And a lot of topics that we get are off of social media. And I get off my Twitter page and things like that.
Right.
People submit things to us.
Right.
But a lot of it is from, me and you dating for me because...
And marriage.
Yeah. It's like, for me, I don't really get it. I don't understand the dating process.
Right.
I'm trying it.
Are you still struggling to date I'm struggling to understand it.
And understand it, yes.
Oh, wow.
All of it. Because
there'll never be another me, but...
It's not because of that. It's because of how fast me and you got together.
We got together so quick. But you know what, though? And I know I have a seemingly bad reputation because people have like, oh my God,
overlapping your relationships
again. Yeah.
Yes.
So people always say that, yeah. But that's me. Like,
he was in 2 relationships when I met him.
That's not true. I'm not gonna let you put that narrative out there. That's so sad. Okay, so you have affairs of the hearts. Let me say that last promo picture that you did, I thought that was really sexy with the guy with his legs in the air.
Oh yeah, that's one of my friends on Twitter.
Because I'm friends with him on Twitter as well. Okay. And I saw that picture. I was like,
I know it's like IQ something. I wish I could remember I think it's IQ_ Alam or something like that, but he's like one of my.
Well, once you find it, I'll put it up there.
Okay, but yeah, I always credit him for my pictures that I post on my podcast because he lets me use all his pictures.
Yeah, very sexy.
A lot of times when it's ass pictures, I can't tell if it's mine or his.
That's true, because you got a lot of... Okay, so everybody knows I'm a butt man. If you don't know, you should know now. And I remember one of the things that people would always say when they found Monte, they was like, oh yeah, because he got a lot of ass.
I knew when I saw Monte, I was like, that's going to work.
That's true. That is true.
I don't think I've seen an ass like that in anybody else you dated. But
right.
I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's going to work.
Right. Okay, so not only do you have your podcast, but you also, and I will say this, you are amazing at websites and graphics.
Are you about to take credit for this?
No, I'm not. I will take credit for the fact that I encouraged you to open up your own website and graphic business, but AKL Creations, I did come up with that name.
Did you?
Yes, because it was based off your initials.
I don't remember you coming up with that name.
I did.
You probably did.
I did.
I probably would never name it.
I am great for names and titles and stuff like that.
And the reason why I do websites is because I built a major websites for his church.
Let me tell you something. Every church, every ministry, everything
I'm still waiting on my payments.
Not from me.
Yes, from you.
You don't owe me. Oh, you mean from when we were together?
Yes, from churches.
See, why? Okay. Why is it my exes always want to get money from me about things that happened when we were together?
I sent you invoices for those websites. I still haven't got paid, but
that is so sad. Now let's talk about the website that I did pay you for once we were not together.
Let me check my emails.
So the truth is, he's actually getting ready to build me a brand new website. I just have to get the information to him, and you have been consistent. You said, Mike, if you give me the information, I will build you the website. I just hadn't put it together yet, and that's the truth. But you're great.
How long has that been?
A couple years.
Okay.
That I paid you for. Make sure we put that out there.
You did pay for that one. You did.
And I paid for 3 graphics.
I thought I did those already.
No, you did not. I don't have any graphics.
I looked at my books.
Please do. I have no graphics. But he makes flyers. You make
I do logos, flyers, every graphics and website.
Yeah, and you're super affordable. And I will say this. If you call him about it, it won't get done. If you text him about it, it won't get done. But if you email him, he will give you, a 24, 48 hour
But you have to call him for the consultation.
Well, yeah, call for the consultation, but I'm talking about when you actually get the information. Oh, yeah. And I think a lot of times people would submit things through Facebook and through Instagram, and that's just not how your mind works. It has to come through your email.
It says that on my website.
It does say that. It has to come through your email in order for you to start processing the work. So I will say that.
And your deposit.
And your deposit. But what is your normal turnaround? Well, for websites,
it depends on what you need.
Okay. But whatever time space you give them, you keep that time.
Absolutely.
I know you've always done that with me, so yeah.
I mean, choice, but
you want a piece of no? I'd be like, Aaron, is the website done?
Did I get my deposit?
He would always ask me for a deposit. I'd be like, I'm your husband. Why are you asking me for a deposit?
My business and our relationship was 2 different things.
That's so sad. But I do agree with you on that.
Absolutely.
So what else you got going on besides that?
That's pretty much it. Okay. Just my podcast.
Right.
And my website business.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're in a good place.
I'm glad you're in a good place.
I am.
I'm glad we're able to do this.
Me too.
And I'm not going to cuss you out when we get done with it.
True. True. Like, that's true. And I'm glad because when there's at a time, and I've always kind of been in the public eye, and
this is a different
one
though.
Definitely. But do you realize people still, like on my OnlyFans, most of my inboxes are for prayer requests. Like I don't know if you know how OnlyFans work.
I don't.
Okay, so like you
don't have
one. He could. Anyway. Okay, but in there, they can DM you. I would say 80% of my DMs on my OnlyFans is prayer requests. Like people are saying, can you pray for my aunt?
I just think people want to be free. Like, yeah. I mean, I think that's normal. Right. Like, I think people be so stuck in a box all the time. I think that's why I was so adamant about you being free when we were dating. Right. Because it was like you weren't who you are.
One of the things you always told me, you was like, Mike, you can be who you are and still minister to people. And I'm like, how? But you know what? As freak nasty as I be being, people still reach out to me every day.
I mean, you're doing it in public instead of in private.
That's true. That is the only difference. That is the only difference. One other thing I want to publicly apologize for, and we can wrap it up, is when we were living in Maryland, I promised you.
Someone surprised me?
No.
Okay.
I promised you that I would not let anyone else live with us again. I promised you that because we let people live with us in Ohio. And I did allow individuals to live with us. And it took a toll on our relationship. One, because I wasn't honest. Two, I will be honest and say I was having sex with the other person.
Which I already knew.
Which you did, and I did deny.
Yes.
So, and I know that brought a whole nother level of drama to us. And I just want to come clean. Like, it's not like we haven't had this conversation before, because you know. But I just want to.
So I'm gonna tear this place apart if I didn't know that.
You're like, what? Because actually, you did get triggered when you ran across a certain individual. You did,
I
and
did.
so, but that was the result, and that wasn't even about them as much as it was about me not doing things the right way. And
I don't think that's true, but go ahead.
No. What I'm saying is that
my trigger was right. I'm fine with that.
what? Stop. What I'm saying is that it didn't have to go that far if I would have just been honest and told
I
the
still
truth.
would have had the same reaction.
No, I'm talking about if I would.
I understand what
I'm
you're
talking
saying.
about back in Maryland, boy.
No, none of that would have changed, but that's fine.
Right. Okay. I received that.
I'm totally fine with the fashion that I'm wearing.
Is Tony Child still your favorite on
I
Girlfriends?
love me some Tony Child.
You do.
I've been watching it every day.
Listen, and I was watching Girlfriends the other day, and I texted you, and I was like, I'm sitting here watching Girlfriends, and I keep thinking about you. And you text me back, you was like, I don't think you should even be allowed to watch Girlfriends without me. That's the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. Well, whatever I can do to always support you, I will.
Can I just really say, I really appreciate this, honestly. I think this is like, it feels like we've been having closure for so long.
I know, right?
Like, we've had closure for so many years, but I think that because we were together for so many years, it probably was needed.
Right.
But I do really appreciate this because, like, this is really like a chapter that is ending, you know?
Yeah.
And hopefully a new chapter of us being friends.
Yes,
will
and
be
family can begin. And and you know how the universe works. I felt like we, as many times as we like started to attempt the divorce and getting paperwork and doing this and doing that, nothing could ever happen. And I feel like because we weren't in a good place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell y'all how we got to a good place, how the ball started rolling. You found something about love languages when it comes to apologizing.
Yeah.
Right? So Aaron, whenever we would do something, or either one of us would make a mistake, we would always apologize. But we never apologized in the way
Of our love language.
So it was hard to receive. So if you do something to me, I'm the type of person that when you apologize, you don't even really have to say, I'm sorry. You need to say, I was wrong for cussing you out. I should not have done that.
Right.
If you come to me and just be like, I'm sorry for what I did, that doesn't work for me. I'm like, no, and I can't receive it. So you would apologize for things, but I couldn't receive it.
Well, that's not even apologize.
That's true. Because in his family, and let me tell you, I remember one time we was at the hospital visiting some family, and Aunt Buffy told me this. I said, Aunt Buffy, why won't he apologize about nothing? She said, baby, she said, we don't apologize in this family. I said, what? I said, oh my God, but that's how y'all are. Y'all apologize with action.
Yeah.
And I, for me, because words of affirmation is my love language, I need to hear you acknowledge that you messed up. And I think that also contributed to the buildup. What is how do you need?
Mine is quality time. So
right.
Mine means you have to show me that you are sorry.
Right.
And so it was really weird because we were really apologizing to each other, but we weren't apologizing to each other because
right.
I was showing you and you were telling me and it just wasn't working because
exactly.
it wasn't speaking apology to either one of us.
We were speaking our own
love
language instead of the other person's love language. That is so true, because you would be like, and then I would be mad and not want to spend time because I felt like I didn't get an apology.
But I need a break and leave her. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Last thing, and we gotta go. So let me tell y'all where another mistake is that I made with you, and my other exes after you. Whenever I got angry, I would always say, "I'm done." I'd be like, "I'm out."
You know I hated that. You know I hated that.
This is the truth. That is, I have that flight or fight in me, right? That mechanism. I feel like if it becomes too much, like I have to leave. Like I cannot be a part of this. And even in my last relationship, every time I would get angry, I would always say, "I'm done, I'm leaving." And because that was a trigger for them, they could never trust me. So even when I was telling the truth, because they experienced...
That's probably how I felt.
See, this is why you got to get shit right. Because they experienced abandonment in their younger life.
We talked about this.
We did.
Me and you talked about this.
We did. And they, hearing me say, "I'm leaving, I'm done," built up a wall in them. So even days when I was telling, which I told the truth, but even when I was telling the truth, they could never believe me. And I would get so angry, because you know I don't like to be believed when I'm telling the truth about shit. But I would get so angry, like, why? Like, I'm telling you the truth. But in their mind, because I already said I was leaving, and I kept saying it over and over and over and over and over again, they could never get to a place where they ever believed me. Never. To this day, they still don't believe shit.
Your situation was different because you were actually probably lying to me. But
that's true. I was lying to you. I'm telling y'all, by the time I got with Ty, I wasn't lying no more.
Yeah, you was lying to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to believe.
That's true.
But
you see how you pointed that out. It's true though.
But that was always my trigger with you. The "I'm leaving" thing, and we went through that for at least, I know, the first year of us being in Atlanta, and since then, I think it was really hard for me to really trust you, period. Yeah. And then with the cheating and all the other things that was going on, it was like, I don't want to leave, but I want to stay. It was really weird. It was like it was a lot.
I didn't realize I was triggering you or my ex. I didn't, and even though y'all told me, it just didn't register that's what I was doing.
I actually believe that.
Until I had to deal with the repercussions of my actions. And then I was like, damn. Yeah, okay. I got it. All right, so I think we covered a lot.
Is that on that?
Yeah.
That's what we say on my podcast.
Oh, that's that on that. Right. So now I don't say that. I don't say I'm leaving. I will say one time when something happened and Monty got upset about something, I was like, okay, I'm done. And I was like, wait a minute. And I quickly corrected that, because I don't want to put that in him, that he can't trust that I'm going to be around, even when things get hard.
And if you need me, just call me.
All right, everybody. So I'm so grateful that we were able to do this. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you follow us on all social media, and make sure you tune into Affairs of the Heart. And if y'all hear him talking about me, y'all make sure y'all tag me, because
they have gotten on me before. I'm telling you, on the YouTube, they have gotten on me about you before.
Really?
Yes. And I got them right back together now. And about that though, you can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell me nothing about Michael Willis Hurd. That's the truth. But we're hoping that if you have an ex, if you have a relationship that has not been healed, that maybe we can inspire you some type of way to work on healing that. That's the only way you will ever be able to move forward, if you heal your past. So thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you later.